Welcome to our Microsoft Excel trainings. When we create pivot tables in Excel, we may need to make calculations on the fields in the pivot tables we create. For this, please download our pivot file, which is called Pivot, which you can download from my Information and Files section. Let's work together on the same file. I'm creating a pivot table. I come to the Insert tab. Let me create my pivot table by clicking Pivot Table and pressing OK without making any changes and going to a separate page. I import the representative into rows and I get the data values in the sales field. Let's separate the thousands digits by pressing the right button on the numbers and selecting number format from here. Get a smoother look. Select number. Let's say 2-digit. Yes, okay, the distinction is now here, friends. If the sales value is over 300,000, for example, you will give a 5% premium. When you come directly here and use an equals if formula, when you use the formula and click on the number right there, see the get pivot data function. This is something normally used, but remove it. Normally, this cell is not an address in this way, but it allows it to act like a standard cell. To do this, click inside the table. Click on the analyzer and the pivot table tools that comes up. Click on the arrow next to the options, not on the options on the left, and look below. We will remove the click event there. We remove the confirmation and the expression der Piotget is in the middle. Now this is like a standard cell. Say from here, from the value here, if these are if it is equal to 300,000, 300,000, then the value here is multiplied by 500. If not, I left it blank by quoting quotes. When you press enter, you can perform the operation here. Let's do it like a normal individual. And let's separate this in thousands by pressing Ctrl-Shift exclamation mark and Ctrl-Shift 1 in the top row. When we look now, you will see that 5% premiums are calculated for those who exceed 300,000. This may work for you, but it just doesn't work. This is where the trouble happens. For example, I clicked on the filter here and I want to see only Ali, Sihan, ECE, and Nafia. When you select these four and press OK, the calculation continues since the values here are a normal cell. Look, we have our normal formulas here. You can see the formula here, but when we apply a filter, the sample values here should not be processed here. It shouldn't show this. Let's include the calculation process in the summary table. In this way, it is not an external calculation. This is a method to be used to see instantly which one gets it and which one doesn't. But if you are going to take action based on this, that is, if you want the values here to be calculated automatically when you apply a filter or add a new field, we need to add this as a calculated field. Look, for this we click on the special table. Let's talk about the pivot table tools options above. When you come to the Analyze section, look at the Calculations section on the right side. There is an expression called Interest a Tune and Set. We click here and from here we bring up our calculations by saying Calculated Interest, that is calculated field. Let's write the name in the What section. For example, let's call it Premium and go to the Formula section and delete the values here. Let's keep the equals. I said equal to the sales amount. Here, friends, another problem comes into play. Now, normally we should be able to see the sales amount directly here, but we see the sale but not the amount. The amount remains below. The reason for this is this. Let's close from here. Let's get out of here. Let's see our page 1 again. If you pay attention here, look at our table. The sales are visible above, but the amount is not visible. The reason for this is that we do this by pressing the Alt-Enter key after typing sales. That is, by writing 2 lines in one cell. That's why we will have to remove it. If there is such a field, you cannot use it in the calculations. Let's leave a sales space here. Write the amount. Look again. It is similar. It is not in this one. It is not in this one either. Yes, now it is correct. I go back to my special table, clicked inside the table again, clicked on Analysis from above. Let's say Fields, Options, and Settings again. From here we come back to the Calculus Value Calculated area. I write it again as Premium, and I deleted the 0 here and set it as equal. Look at the sales amount. We made the same mistake again. Why did we make the same mistake? There is a mistake we made. We changed this field in the table. But since we did not update the custom table here, this field did not change. That's why we update the area here by clicking the right button and doing refresh. Of course, since the system could not find that field, we removed it from the special table. Now click inside the table again. Let's change the above sales recipe address back to VList value and totals value. In this fixed format, again, we select the number, separate it from thousands, and say, okay, we restored it to its previous state. We come to the same place again. The analysis is from here. The active calculated area premium is calculated from the fields. Now let's try again. I deleted the 0 here. It remains equal. I double click on the sales. Look, it is correct now. But we need to put an if in front of it. Let's delete this here too, because we have a condition. Equals if. We open the parenthesis, double click the sales amount value greater or equal to 300,000. If so, double click on the sales amount again and get times 5%. Give a 5% bonus. If not, we close the parenthesis with the quotation mark expression at the end of the first one, making it empty. When you press OK, look, the field will be changed here. Let's say yes and bring it here. Now if you're paying attention here, if the sales amount is less than 0, an error is made in the blank fetching part. He fell into the value error. Let's fix it. From here, we go to the calculated field section again. We can't see our calculated field here. Let's click on this environment and select the premium from here. Let's delete the space here and write 0 directly. He made a mistake because it was empty. Say OK and see, it's now smoother. It also came on our table. If we remove any fields from here and select, for example, Ali, Omar, Sarif, when we say OK, we see that the calculated fields automatically come with our summary table. That's the beauty of it. This is how we can use calculated fields. From here to, let's say the amount. Now we can't give the same name, friends, because look, there is the sales amount expression here. We can't give the same name here. But when you leave a space, this space does not appear, but it allows you to give the name. Let's call it premium. Look, I can't give the premium name because there is a premium name here. When you say premium space instead, you can pass this from here with a simple trick. Let's call it representatives here. There's no name representatives. We can easily do this. Add the calculated fields to your summary tables in this way. If it is necessary to make a calculation on any table, it should automatically fetch filtering or other values inside the table, not outside the table. Now look, for example, when you bring the company under the representative, you will see that the values here are also included in the calculation. That's the beauty of it. So when you add or subtract a field, the calculations come from here automatically. From here, for example, if we change our value, let's do it like this. Let's remove the representative and keep the companies. Look at the companies. If they exceed 300,000, the system automatically brings it as a calculated field that will receive a 5% bonus. If we want to reduce the premium to 8% instead of 5%, we need to make changes to the calculated field we added. Where did we make the calculation for this? We will go the same way. After clicking inside the table again, we click on Files, Items from Analyze and Calculated Files from Sets. I call it Calculated Field. If I click OK here, select the premium expression, change 5% here to 10 for example, and then click OK, the premium here will turn into 10%. Now let's create a separate summary table and give a 10% bonus if the sales amount is above a certain number. Look, let's do a different example here. Insert pivot table again, arrow. Let's take the representative rows from here again. Let's put the sales and list here and the sales amount again. Now let's select the numbers again from here. There is a problem with the fields in our table. As you can see, there is a problem underneath them. Let's select number from the right golden number format again and separate it from the 1,000 digits. Let's do the same with the totals. Let's separate it from the thousands place. Now from here, if the sales amount is over 800, for example, if the sales quantity is over 800, it should receive a premium of up to 5% of the amount. In other words, if a person sells more than 800 products, she should receive a bonus of 5% of the amount sold. To do this, let's click inside the table and select the calculated field from Files, Items and Sets again. Let's call it Premium again, but we have the name Premium. For example, let's call this Sales Premium. To be a change. What will our formula be like? I deleted it to 0 here, and it is equal to if our sales value is greater than or equal to 800. I double-click on the expression of the sales amount. Take the percent times 10. If not, let's make it 0. Let's close the parenthesis. When you say OK, you can see that the values here are now here, and that they are here as a separate field. By separating the thousands digit from the right button number format, we can make it act as if it were a normal field. We made a premium based on the sales amount for those whose number exceeded 800. In this way, you can easily use the calculation fields in summary tables, and this is the right thing to do. It is a very nice and useful feature.